remember I'd walk around, maybe 10. My favorite colors are red, white, and blue. You know? It's so absurd. But, and you know, the girls had colonial outfits. All their moms made them colonial outfits. Now this is Pennsylvania, you know, this is a very different part of the country. I don't know if a lot of girls at the same time in California had colonial dresses with the little bonnets. But there are a lot of events to go to, and there were songs, you know, rock and roll songs on the radio about the period. And so I became very excited about being able to call myself an American.
Well, American, okay? American is just not just a piece of paper that you're holding. You're an American. It is in your heart. You must be patriotic. You have a sense of volunteerism. You have the freedom to do good. That's liberty. That's how I see American.
It's actually weird. I mean, I've had some friends whose parents I've talked to about this, and they would say something about a part of them being patriotic is not being supportive of this bill, because they are saying that this country is for Americans. It's the United States of America, and it's for them, and they feel like those who are undocumented, who has been here, did not go through the right process to be here, and they just feel like it's unfair for those who are documented and who has worked to get their papers done so that they will be able to work, study, or actually live here. So I guess a lot of people are saying whether it's either it's unfair, it's adding to the population of the United States of America, and it's pretty much a lot of people think it's unnecessary.
People aren't happy with all the security and the militarization of the border, and that being like a prerequisite, like in order to start legalizing or giving people a what are they calling it, a track to citizenship, a path to citizenship, that first there needs to be more security at the border, which means more militarization, and that's scary to me. I mean, what's the purpose of that? It makes some people feel more secure, and why? And you know, and in terms of what it does to the psyche of people who are in Mexico, who have had generations of people crossing back and forth without, you know, it's been part of it's part of their story. You know, that their grandparents and their great-grandparents and everybody, they traveled back and forth, and they worked and they went back, and the cultures merged, and people went back and forth and affected each other's cultures, and it was just a natural flow. And then all of a sudden, and it's been getting more and more and more difficult, right, over the past 40, 50 years, especially the last 20 years, and now you know, they want to completely militarize it and turn it into something like the Berlin Wall, which is unthinkable to me. I don't even understand how American citizens, how people who have lived here and grown up with the history of what the Berlin Wall meant, how can people even sit back and stand for that? And it's scary. It's scary to me what we've come to. And I understand that it isn't making us any more secure. If anything, it's making us less secure on so many fronts, because there's thousands of miles of coast in this country, or Canadian border, that have no protection or no security. So they take one relatively small amount and close it off, and you know, put up electrical fences and gates and helicopters and soldiers and you know, cameras and drones, and you know, how many billions of dollars are going to be focused in that part of the country, on that border. And it doesn't make us any safer. It doesn't keep anybody from coming in anywhere else. The border around this country is completely porous. And in terms of Mexicans, I feel like things have become so bad there, and or Latin Americans in general. Things have become so bad with CAFTA and NAFTA and all of the trade deals, which have destroyed the economies south of the border. And people have felt people have been forced to move into cities and into maquiladores and into situations of slavery, basically creating really cheap products for Americans so that Americans will keep more mellow. I know I'm going off on a lot of different tangents, but in order to keep Americans mellow and calm, they have to be able to have a lot of things they can buy cheaply. And those things that they can buy cheaply are at the expense of workers all through Latin America and the Philippines and China and all over the planet, and who have no labor laws and have no unions and nothing protecting them. So those people, I feel, especially in Latin America, have often felt that as long as they had the ability to come here where they had some hope of survival, of economic survival, that it kind of was like it was the steam release, right, on the boiling over pot. But with that border going up, and I saw it happening, 10 years ago when I first started hearing about all the security. As soon as you cut off that steam release, it's going to get worse down there, and it is, and it has, and it's more dangerous. And people that see no other way out have joined the drug bans down there, and have gotten involved with whatever they can do to survive. And so things have gotten worse, and you have, more people being murdered and killed and kidnapped, and so all over the place it's bad.